Just introduce yourself. What's your name? Where are you from? And what do you do?
All right, Doc. So I'm Reema. I stay in Delhi. I've been here for almost like 6, 7 years. I work with a corporate company, and I've been commuting like initially commuting like 3 days a week, and but because of the change in routine, even during pregnancy, I was managing 5 days work, travel to office. I am in my 30th week now, 29 days, 29 week, 5 days to be precise. And regarding having found you for an, when I was looking for a nutritionist, and also because I was quite on the overweight category when I conceived, and I'm generally very freak about my fitness and health. So I thought of exploring some avenues as to how can I be more balanced in my approach, even if I would go for a yoga trainer or someone, but unless my nutrition is not met completely, probably the other things will not work around. So that's when I was googling it, and trying to find, I have worked with a nutritionist before as well, but somehow I was not very much convinced. That was a pre-pregnancy era. So when I read about you on the Google, and there were a lot of articles, so I went to multiple articles. It was just not that the Google recommended and I ended up calling you or reaching out to your executive. So I read multiple articles about you, the kind of feedback that people have given, the responses, and the ownership that I have. Mostly what happens is the client, like even if I talk about me, there are times I end up missing to share updates, but there is a team who works with you who's constantly following up with me. So even they have to bug me to a place where I will become like, ab to reply kar hi deti hu types ka. So that happens, and that is good because we are all caught up in our day to day life, that we end up missing on these smaller things, which is actually making a lot of difference for my body, for my growth. So that's what I read, and I think when I started my journey with you, I have seen all of that happening. Actually, it's not something that I'm probably saying it for the sake of saying it here, but there are times Tanya would call me, once, twice, and that gives me a sense of comfort that even even if I try to miss on my diet, there's a person who's constantly reminding me that your diet is okay, your diet is perfect, you might have to buck up a little to achieve this goal. So I think that's how I got to know about you. I enrolled, and I think my journey has been fantastic so far.
Perfect, perfect. And any three reasons why you would recommend us to someone? And how has your experience been with the antenatal classes? You've attended some of those.
Yeah.
How have those been?
So two of the three reason I think I've already mentioned. One, because your team is very punctual. So it is not like if the client does, if the customer fails to call for an update or to seek an update, it's not that the other other partner is not doing it. In fact, you are more customer oriented than the customer for a doctor orientation, I would say. Having said that, that is also very good when those antenatal classes and like you're saying, we also have formula feed class happening tomorrow. So I think these are something, when I, to be very honest, when I enrolled, I knew that these topics will be covered, but I didn't knew that there will be an office hours sort of session wherein there will be an interactive session. I was initially thinking that it might be some recordable session which will be just sent for people to go through it and understand. But unless there is a one-to-one session, the questions that I might have in my mind, I might not be able to put that through and get it clarified, right? So I think this is second, wherein you just don't give us a nutritional guideline, the follow-ups that keep us on track, the classes that you take that probably help us prepare mentally, because there are a lot of people around who someone would say something, मेरे टाइम में ऐसा हुआ था, हम ऐसा करते हैं. So I think this help us to break
All in
that
stories.
back.
Basically, it's all in stories.
हाँ, तो वो this classes kind of help us break that barrier. I'm not saying that whatever you're saying will work for me, but at least mentally, I will not think online that, oh, my mom is saying that probably I never did it. It might affect my baby. So वो एक mental balance create हो जाता है, and it helps me to be prepared that I know whatever I'm doing is not wrong, even if it is not something that my parents or in-laws would want me to do, or maybe the society would want me to do. So that is another thing, that you're breaking the barrier by creating positive mindset, taking those classes. And third, of course, you are always approachable. I mean, it is, I would just ping you on WhatsApp, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, and it is not that you will reply me after a week because you have a call scheduled with me on next Saturday. So you are always there on that channel to help us with our instant queries. So these are the three major reasons that I would recommend you to. And in fact, I would say people should take diet consultant, because as a normal working person, or maybe as a housewife, we will not know that how much of curd should I be taking in the day or maybe in the night, so as to be, fulfilling all my protein needs. Google, Instagram, social media is all full of what I eat in a day when I'm pregnant, when I'm 3 months pregnant, and all. That's not going to help all the people unless you have your own body wise plan prepared for you.
Exactly. So what I doesn't matter because your diet or lifestyle could be very, very different, and maybe you are having some nutrient deficiency
Yeah.
and you need like a certain supplement. And the most important bit about antenatal, I feel, is that you have a lot more information. You're a lot more informed. It's sometimes you just hear stories and you don't think of them. Like, okay, this, and everyone has a different story. Honestly, like you may listen to 300 stories. Your story could be 301. Like
Totally different.
from the other person. But it's good to have information because once the child arrives, then we are like, okay, how to make formula, like those kinds of questions start arising, like, oh, I thought I'll be able to breastfeed, but like how to go about it, when you are obviously like you're looking for help, and there can be a little bit of a delay. So the idea is just to prepare you for that situation. But thank you so much, Reema. This was so helpful, really nice. And let me know how the whole thing goes. Once the child arrives, please let me know. And of course, we'll be in touch post delivery if you're having any issues with feeding and all. Any questions? I'm always here.
Thanks, Doctor. Thank you. Great interacting with you. I'll just get my growth scan done, and probably then I'll connect with you as how do I plan the next 3 to 4 weeks, because those would be the most crucial part of when 34, 35, 36, and the other weeks. So I'll get in touch with you once my growth scan is done.
Perfect. And by 34 weeks, your hospital bag should be ready because after 34, it can be any time because sometimes women can have deliveries around, at 35 or 36. It's kind of called a premature birth, but it's almost full term. It's almost like we call it preterm now. So by 36 also you can actually go into labor. So full term,
Okay.
of course, is 40. Some can also go overdue. But and if it's of course a C-section, if it's a planned C-section, then it's like you plan it around 38. So of course with your growth scan you'll know the position of the baby, if it's a breech or if, and of course the position can change towards the very end also, like 4 days before you might the position could be head down, and then suddenly in labor it could be absolutely different. So just be prepared, and don't feel like, okay, we all have a certain mindset, oh, I want to go through this kind of a birth, I want my birth to be in a certain way. Think of it as a guideline, like we call it a birth plan, but think of it more as a birth, like a guideline, that okay, this is what. And even if you do end up getting an emergency C-section, don't feel like, oh, like this was not what I had in mind. It's okay. What is more important is you are safe and the baby is safe. Safety and health is the most important, right? So just be prepared for all kinds of eventualities. At that point of time, certain decisions would be taken, and just go with it.
Body position.
Because
There's just one query which I raised in my mind. I think last 15th of Jan, around 15th of Jan, I was weighing around 73.5. That was the time probably I was not able to be on my diet. You would have seen that I was missing a lot of recommendation at that time because of traveling. Today, when I weighed myself, I am again on 73.3, and between I like yesterday, today. So is it okay to be in the same weight range for almost a month?
the weight is one of the worst indicators, actually. We do monitor the weight, but weight is the worst indicator to tell you about the health or the, how the pregnancy is progressing. So the scan is better. So the
Okay.
scan will tell you, it'll give you a much better view. So initially, if you, let's say 10, 15 years ago, they would always check the weight, like the gynecologist would make it a point of checking the weight, the BP, those are like all routine checks.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of discontinued because the ultrasound itself tells you a lot of information. And and some women may gain 4 kgs, some women may gain 10. Usually the average weight gain is about 10 to 12 kgs, but some women gain about 8 and they can have absolutely healthy pregnancy outcomes. Some can gain 20 also, they can also have healthy outcomes. So
No, I'm not bothered about the overall weight gain. I think I'm pretty sure in my mind because I do my yoga regularly. I do my evening 40 minutes of walk regularly. The thing is, what I observed is for last 1 month, I am on the same weight scale. So is it fine? Is it not something?
okay, that's okay. It can suddenly pick up also. You're
Okay.
now in the 29th week, suddenly it may just pick up. You may gain too much weight also. It's okay. It's your body, like how much, it's like the weight of the baby, it's the weight of the amniotic fluid, the weight of the uterus, all of that. So everyone's proportion is a little different.
Okay. Got it. Done. Yeah.
Okay, then take care.
Thanks, thanks, doctor, for your time, and thank you for rescheduling it. I
No
always
issues.
end up getting confused with these calls.
No issues. These things happen. Like I was telling you about the pregnancy brain, right? Like you tend to forget. Like I'm sure you would not be doing this maybe prior to pregnancy, but suddenly all these things start happening, and post birth it will be a lot more, because
Yeah.
like your brain is like keeping the things about the baby super activated, and other things that kind of you start making those very simple mistakes, in which you're like, I never used to forget those things. Why am I doing it? But it's again a phase. It will all pass.
All right. Sure. Sure. Thanks, doctor. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye bye.